We want to find out what the volume is of this cube and other prisms. It's really not that difficult. A lot of times, 7th graders will come in, they already remember, hey, length times width times height. And that's correct, you know, length times width times height. So 5 times 5 times 5 will be 125 inches cubed. I'm not necessarily interested in trying to say don't use that. What I am interested in doing is showing you a different formula that'll work the same way. So when we go to find the area of a cylinder, it'll work a lot easier when we go find the volume of a pyramid, when we go find the volume of a cone and different shapes. You'll be a lot more familiar with this idea right here. V equals capital B H. And this capital B stands for area of the base. Okay. And in the same way that we rework the how to find the area of a rectangle or square, and you'll see that this has a square down here on the bottom of this cube. You know, each side is 5 inches, and so you see that. If I said, what's the area of this square, you'd say, well, the base times the height, little b times h, right? And we'd say 5 times 5 is 25 inches squared. So the area of the base is actually 25 inches, or 25 square inches. So this B standing for the area of the base is 25 inches. And the base is what it's sitting on. And you can see that it's literally sitting on this face of the cube there. And now what's the height of the whole cube? It's 5 inches. And so what we do is we run it up to the other face that's sitting up here. You know, the top face was connecting it from the highest to the lowest point, this 5-inch side. So the height is 5. What's 25 times 5? Again, we get the same answer that you had before, and this is 5 inches. So inches squared times inches will make this cubic inches. How many cubes could we fit inside of this one? How many 1-inch cubes could we fit in there? We could fit 125 inches inside of that. That's the volume. And whenever people first see this method, they go, it doesn't make any sense at all. Why do we have to do it? Trust me, you'll want to learn how to use this so it's easier to understand other shapes. But between you and me, if you know, they just say quickly, what's the volume of this? Hey, length, width, height, multiply them together, and you have the answer. But you really want to try and stick with this to see if you understand this new method. Volume equals area of the base times the height. What's the area of my base? So sometimes it's helpful just to shade in the bottom base, so that way you can see it, and it's 10 feet by 3 feet, so that it will be 30 feet squared times the height of it. In this case, it's 5 feet. So I'll put this in parentheses too, just to show you a slightly different way. It means we multiply them together, and that means that our volume is 150 feet to the third power. So that's not too bad. You've watched enough of mine though. How about you pause the video and see if you can find the volume of this cube. Okay, so volume equals area of the base times height. When you see this, I want you to start telling yourself this is the area of the base. So let's go shade in a base that it's sitting on. Let's just say it's sitting on this face of the cube. And if you're going, well, no, I picked a different face. Well, if this was a real cube, you could pick it up and set it down on this face. So we can make it the base. And let's see, that would be 4 by 4. So that's 16. The area is 16 kilometers squared. And what's the height of it? 4 kilometers. So actually, let's just multiply it by 4. We'll show it that way. So our volume is 64 kilometers cubed. Try this one. Okay, hopefully you've already gone through and done that. When I look at this prism, I see it sitting on this face. Maybe you saw a different one. Don't panic. If you got the same final answer, if you used a different face, that'll work, and I might even use this one to show you what I'm talking about there. So let's see, this is 4 yards here. This is 8 yards, which means this is 8 yards, which means this is 8 yards. So 4 times 8 is 32. The area of that base right there is 32. And it is yards squared. I just didn't write it in this time. Okay, yards squared. And then the height, well, you can see the height of it is 7. So 32 times 7 will be, I think, and I better type that in just to make sure I don't want to record a video with the wrong answer. Yeah, that's correct, 224. So our volume is 224 cubic yards, or yards to the third power. Now, before we move on to the other two examples, and we only got 2 others on here, I wanted to show you if you picked a different face to be the base. And you can do that with prisms. Can't do that with cylinders. Can't do that with pyramids. Can't really do it with cones. But you can do it with prisms. You can choose one face and go, what's the area of that face? Well, let's see here. This is 4 yards here. This is 8 yards here. And that's the one I need. I need the 8 yards. So this would be 8 yards, and that makes this 8 yards. 8 times 7 is 56. So the area of my base now is 56 yards squared. And what I'm talking about is if you literally stuck your hand in here and you picked up this prism, you could set it down on this red face, and that would be the new base. So what is the height, though? If it's sitting on the side, our height would then be going from the base to the top. And that distance right here is 4 yards. So our height is 4 yards. Let's multiply these together and see if we get 224 again. Let's see, 56 times 4 is 224. So if you're looking for a way to try to help make this a little easier using the new formula, you pick one face, find the area of it. So let's go do this top face right here. 8 times 4 is 32. So the area of the base, if we set this upside down and set it on this face, would be 32. That would be your new base, right? And then our height would be 7. And 32 times 7 is 224 yards cubed. That's what I'm talking about. You can find the area of one face and then just times it by the height. Try to connect to that other face that's exactly like it. See how this bottom face would be the same as that top face? Well, you find the area of one of these red faces and then look at the edge that's connecting those two faces, and that would become your height. So that's what it's talking about. This 7 would become your height right there. All right, 3 more to go. Actually, 2 more to go. This is number 3. I'm going to use this small sliver of the face right here. All right. And if this is 3 kilometers, that means this is 3. So 8 times 3 gives me an area of 24 kilometers squared. And what's my height? 8 kilometers. So 24 times 8 gives me a volume of 192 kilometers cubed. Last one. Hopefully you've got this one by now. Hopefully you paused it. There we go. This is 2 yards. And let me go in green. Actually, let me go in yellow. Yellow should show up in here. That's 2 yards. So this is 2 yards. And this is 2 yards. And this is 2 yards. It's that property of squares and rectangles there. There we go. So that's 2. 2 times 6 is 12. So that's 12 yards squared. And what's my height? The height is going to be 6. So 6 yards. 6 times 12 is 72 yards cubed. So that's our volume.